frog fans. Alright, so today, or rather this evening, because it's pitch black out there, won't be by the time you see this, but anyways, I'm going to be teaching you how to make fake baby food, applesauce, puree, whatever you want to call it, for your reborns that won't expire. So I bought these little see-through squeeze pouches at my local dollar store at Dollarama, and I found it cool because you'd be able to see what's inside of it, so it's a good aesthetic because you can actually see what's inside of it, unlike a lot of the other pouches. And when I was thinking about what I could put in it, I was thinking, I don't want to use real baby food because that's going to start to go moldy in about a week. And then it would be expensive to keep filling it up and it just wouldn't be worth it anymore. And, I suppose that you could just get an actual squeeze pouch of applesauce that they use for real kids that are like $1 each. But, I thought that seeing it would be really cool. So I'm going to teach you how to make this, so you can have it for your reborn toddlers or roleplay videos or whatever. Okay, so obviously first you're going to need some sort of pouch like this. If you can't find them at a Dollarama near you, or if you don't have a Dollarama, I know that Gerber's now does have see-through pouches. It's just going to be a lot harder to get it in because these have an easy open pouch, like slot on them. Next, you'll need there's two things you could use for this. They're practically the same. This is an air freshener tub that I also got at Dollarama, and it's full of these beads. They're basically the exact same thing as the toy Orbeez. You put them in water and they blow up and they're all squishy and jelly. So you can either use this, or you can just get Orbeez and inflate them. You're going to need some sort of bowl that you don't mind getting dirty. So I have these plastic dollar store bowls left over from a birthday party a couple years ago. You will need coloring of your choice. Whatever color you want to make. I have red and blue food dye. You will need a fork. This one's dirty because I've already used it to make the other pouch you saw. You're going to need a plate that you don't mind getting a little messed up. So this is just a paper plate, again left over from a birthday party. This last item is kind of optional. I think it's good for an added effect. You could just use water if you wanted, but I have Downy fabric softener, the same stuff that I use for my reborn bottles, and this just sort of gives it like a milky color instead of it being clear, but you could definitely use water if you don't want to get this, or if you don't have any of that. Okay, so first we start off with these. So if you're going to use Orbeez, then, just let the Orbeez soak until they're full size. If you're using this, then I would suggest washing all of the scent out of it first, because it's really, really strong, especially if you're sensitive to strong smells like I am. I am very sensitive to strong chemical smells, strong perfumes, and the second I opened this up, it gave me a massive headache, so I washed all the scent out of it. You can still smell it, but it's not as overwhelming. So I'm going to pick out the blue ones, and I think this is the stuff you should do, especially if you're using Orbeez, because they're all sorts of colors. I'm just going to pick out the blue ones because I think the blue color will work better with the color that I'm going for this batch. go. So I separated out a bunch of blue ones, and as you can see, I had to get a bowl for all the clear ones because there's actually a considerable, like a lot more clear ones than there is blue ones. But I hope seeing those separated out like that was as satisfying to OCD tendencies as it is to mine. Alright, now what you want to do is you want to get in there with all of them, and if you don't like touching slimy things, then you might want to get a glove for this, or find a different way to crush them. But, you know, for me, I found it just most convenient to just crush them using my fingers and my nails. It helps if you have nails, because they are slippery. Really, the amount that you use depends on how full you want the package to be. And you don't have to use all of it, you just want to make sure that you definitely have enough for what you want. You don't want to waste too much either. Alright, now that you've got them mostly crushed up, I'm going to pour it out on a plate. And I'm just going to wipe my fork off here. Take a fork and just get it crushed up even more. It's easier to crush up them originally in a bowl where they're all confined, and then you can like take a fork through it and really get them ground up. I guess you could technically put them through a food processor or a blender, but you know, we use our food processor and our blender for food, so I'm not going to put this through that. But you still could. I guess that would make it easier, but this way it works for me. Okay, so that's mushed down as pretty much as far as it's going to go. So I'm going to put it back into the bowl. Whoops, spilling some. You will most likely make a mess doing this. Okay, there we go. Alright, next step, add some dye to it. And stir it up. So what colors you're adding to it is just going to depend on what you're going for. For this one I'm going to go for kind of more of a blueberry-ish. So start off with a blue base, and then I'm going to get some red in there, because blueberries aren't actually blue. So I'm liking that color. Still going to be tweaking it a bit more. Now I'm going to take the fabric softener. Really helps if it's white. And add a little bit of that. Again, you don't want to add it too quick. You can also use water for this step, but I really do think that the white fabric softener gives it a good look. Okay, I like that. It's kind of chunky, but not too chunky. So, because I've added something that's lighter in color, it has changed the color that I had before I added it. So now is the time to go back and touch up the color. So because the the fabric softener, that's the word I'm looking for, is a soap. Technically, you are going to get a little bit of bubbles when you mix it, but that will calm down when you actually put it in the package and let it set for a little bit. You will still have some bubbles, but oh, I just got that on my hand. And if it wasn't obvious, if you get this on yourself or anywhere else, it is going to stain. If you get it on yourself, it'll take a couple washes to come off and a lot of soap. If you get it on a material, it's most likely never going to come off, so be careful. And that is also another note that I'm making about this when you're using it with your dolls. You want to make sure that there is absolutely no way that it can get on your doll, because it will stain. And I'm not sure if there's a way to get that off, because it's probably going to like seep and leach way down to the vinyl. Okay, now the last step is obviously to fill it, but before you do that, you're going to want to seal the package in some way. So you can do that one of two ways. You could either just put silicone glue in here and then close it, and then it will get sealed like that, and you can use it as a prop like that, or you can do what I've done and just create a blockage in the spout here so that you can still have it open but still have it sealed so that nothing is seeping out onto your doll. Obviously, if you have a container that's not reusable and the only entrance is through the spout, you'll want to do this after you inject it with a syringe or something, but because mine has this, it's just easier to seal it first. Okay, so I'm going to just scoop that in. Another note, if you are using a reusable package, you will want to thoroughly squeeze out and clean that package out before you add the artificial mix, because if it's anything natural in there, it will mold. I'm not saying that this will never mold, because it might, but something organic, well, not organic, but you know what I mean, is going to go bad a lot quicker than something made of synthetics like this. Okay, that last little bit This one I filled up pretty much right to the top. Oh, we got a little spillage. Where's that cloth? Oh, there's my tweezers. Okay, snap this shut. Make sure it's nice and tight. Clean off the mess that I'm making on it. And there. Alright, and there you have it. Easy, fairly inexpensive fake baby food or puree or whatever you want to call it, applesauce, that you can use for your reborns. I'm very happy with how it turned out. I'm actually more happy with the one that I just made on camera than I am with this one that I made earlier. The, like, jelly bead Orby stuff really helps giving it like a realistic look, because it has like, they look like fruit chunks in there, floating around in there. And then I really do suggest that you use fabric softener in it, because it gives it like a milky sort of texture appearance that you would get with a real puree. So yeah. Alright, so there's Hermione with her squeeze pouch. She looks very happy with it. Yes, she's still in her Halloween costume. She's going to be in that for a while. But anyways, I hope you enjoyed this video and found it useful. Please, if you decide to do this, post pictures below. Well, please like and subscribe, share this video with your friends, check out our Facebook, YouTube. This is YouTube, bleh. Check out our Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, and keep living the Frogling's life. We'll see you next time.